Hi, and welcome to Unit 2. This unit is on notation. There's a lot of vocabulary in this unit, and we'll go ahead and go through all of it. The first word is point. In geometry, a point has no dimension. In other words, it has no length, no width, and no depth. When we name a point, it is named by a capital letter. Point A or point B. Infinite or infinity. Infinite is a number so large it is uncountable. You cannot count infinite objects. Infinite. Infinity refers to something without limits. It goes on to infinity. This is the infinity symbol. Okay, there are an infinite number of points on a line. So many points I cannot count them. Infinite. But a line goes to infinity. It goes on forever. Infinite, infinity. A line. In geometry, a line is a single-dimensional figure. It has only length and continues in two directions infinitely. It continues forever. A line contains an infinite number of points. When we name a line, we name it by a lowercase letter. I will name this line L. Or we name a line by 2 points on the line. This is line AB. We can say it is line L or line AB. Line. A plane. A plane is a two-dimensional flat surface. Planes are named with points or an uppercase letter. 3 points are needed to name a plane. We may call this plane ABC, or you may see a symbol plane ABC, or just plain M, capital M. A flat surface like a desktop or a wall are planes. Plane. Postulate. A postulate is a mathematical rule that does not need to be proven. Postulate. Collinear points. Collinear points. You can see the word co or the prefix co and the word line. 3 points are said to be collinear if they lie on the same line. Here, points A, B, and C are collinear, and point D is not collinear. You can see the plants are in a row, so the plants are collinear. They are on the same line. Coplanar. Coplanar lines are 2 lines in the same plane. This flat surface, the window, is a plane. The lines are collinear. They are in the plane. Diagram. A diagram is a geometric representation, a figure, a picture, or an image. This picture is called a diagram. Diagram. Line segment. A line segment is part of a line that is bound by two endpoints. A line segment is named by the endpoints, with a bar above the capital letters. This segment has endpoints A and B, so it is called line segment AB. On a baseball diamond, from home plate to third base is a line segment. From first base to second base is a line segment. Also, from first to home and from second to third, these are line segments. A ray. A ray has a beginning point but no end point. It has a beginning, but it continues on forever. A ray does not have a length because it is infinitely long in one direction. When we name a ray, we name it by the endpoint x and another point on the ray, xy. The end point is always going to match with the end point of the ray, and the arrow side will always match with the part that goes on infinitely. This is a ray. The sun has rays. They start at the sun, but they do not end. They go on infinitely. This is a ray. Endpoints. Endpoint is a single point where a line segment or ray ends. A ray has one endpoint and a line segment has two endpoints. This is endpoint X, this is endpoint A, and endpoint B. Endpoint. Angle. Angle is a shape formed by two rays that share an endpoint. The endpoint that they share is called the vertex. An angle has one endpoint with two sides. The stairs create an angle, where this part, which we may call the landing of the staircase, would be our vertex. Angle. Angles are named by a point on each ray and the vertex. We will call this angle ABC. The vertex is written between the other 2 points. So we would say ABC, angle ABC. Or it is named by a number. We can call this angle 1 if it is labeled with a number. The side. Side of an angle refers to the ray. This has side AB or side BC. They are indicated by the rays. The side of a shape refers to an edge. Side HM, side MA, side TA, and side HT. When you discuss sides, we would say side HM is the same as side MH. They are the same no matter which order you name them. Side. Vertex. The vertex of an angle refers to the point shared by the 2 rays. The vertex of this angle is B. Vertex B. The vertex of a shape is the point where two sides meet. We would call this vertex H. This rectangle has 4 vertices. Vertices is the plural for vertex. Vertices. Measure. When you measure, you are finding the size of something. You will measure the length of a line segment. How long is the line segment? Measure. You will find the measure of an angle to the nearest degree. Measure the angle. Degrees. Degrees is a unit of measurement for angles. The measure of angle A is written M angle A. This is the measure of angle A. If angle A was 90 degrees, we would write the measure of angle A equals 90 degrees. Measure, the degree. Congruent. Two figures are congruent if they have the same measurement. Line segments are congruent because they are both 3 meters. Line segments can be congruent. Angles can be congruent if they have the same measurement. These figures are congruent because they are the same shape. These are congruent figures. Congruent. Acute angle. An angle that measures less than 90 degrees. This angle measures 60 degrees. Therefore, it is acute. This easel for art class has an acute angle. Acute. Right angle. An angle that measures exactly 90 degrees. This angle is 90 degrees. It is a right angle. The XY axis that you used in algebra has right angles. Often in architecture, on doors or windows, we have right angles. Right angle. Obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is an angle that measures greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. This angle is obtuse. The computer screen is open at an obtuse angle. This is an obtuse angle. Obtuse. A straight angle. An angle that measures exactly 180 degrees. 180 degrees. A straight angle will appear to be a line. This woman who is stretching her legs is almost a straight angle. A straight angle. Classify. To categorize based on properties. Classify. This child is classifying these objects by round and not round. She is putting them in different categories. Here, the shapes are categorized or classified by side. This has 3 sides. These have 4 sides. These have 5 sides. This is to classify. Sketch. To draw a picture of a figure using all tools available. If I ask you to sketch a square, you will sketch or draw a square. You might want to use a ruler so that all sides are the same. Sketch. Intersect or intersection. Intersect. Two figures share a point or line segment if they intersect. These two lines intersect at a point. The point is called the intersection. The lines intersect at an intersection. These two planes intersect at a line. The line is the intersection. Parallel lines. Parallel lines are coplanar lines that do not intersect. They must be coplanar. These electrical wires are parallel lines. These railroad tracks are parallel lines. Perpendicular lines intersect to form a right angle. They intersect to form a right angle. They have a single point in common. These poles for the electrical wires are perpendicular. The football goal marks have perpendicular bars. These are perpendicular. Skew lines are non-coplanar lines that do not intersect. Line AB and line CD do not intersect, but they are not parallel. Therefore, they are called skew. If they do not intersect and are not parallel, they are skew. Parallel planes. Two planes that never intersect. Plane X and plane Y never intersect. They are parallel planes. In this building, these floors are parallel planes. The first floor is parallel to the second floor, parallel planes. A line perpendicular to a plane. A line perpendicular to a plane is a line that intersects a plane, forming right angles with the plane. This line intersects the plane and is perpendicular. It is perpendicular to the plane. This golf course, this marker, is perpendicular to the ground. It is perpendicular to the plane. Perpendicular. A triangle is formed by connecting three coplanar, non-collinear points. A triangle has three vertices and three sides. This yield sign is a triangle. Triangle. Equilateral triangle. An equilateral triangle, lateral means sides or edges. So equal means it has three sides that are equal or congruent. This is an equilateral triangle if all sides have the same measurement. Equilateral triangle. Isosceles triangle is a triangle with two congruent sides. This triangle is isosceles because two sides are the same and the third side is different. Isosceles triangle. Scalene triangle. A scalene triangle is a triangle with no congruent sides. This triangle is scalene because it has three different side lengths. Scalene. Equiangular. Equa means equal, angles form angular. a triangle with three congruent or equal angles. This triangle has angles A, B, C that are all congruent, so it is an equiangular triangle. Acute triangle. Acute triangle is where the triangle has all angles acute. Acute is less than 90. All angles are less than 90, so this is acute triangle. Right triangle. A right triangle is a triangle with one right angle. This angle is 90 degrees. It is a right angle. So the triangle is a right triangle. Obtuse triangle is a triangle with one obtuse angle. This triangle is an obtuse triangle. Obtuse triangle. Side opposite an angle. The side opposite an angle is the side on a triangle that is directly across from the angle. The side that does not share, the angle does not share. Side C is opposite angle C. Side A is opposite angle A, and side B is opposite angle B. Across from, it is opposite.